far am I off when I look back at the early stages of Tom Brady's New England career, the first couple years, those Super Bowls? It's very, you mentioned the smoke and mirrors is what I like to call it. When you protect the quarterback, you throw a double pass, he throws it to the tight end for a gain of 15 yards. So it becomes almost deceiving to the defense, some of the things that they did early in Tom's career before he became the gold jacket Tom Brady.
Key, I think you're right on the money with the thought. You know, you think back to that 2001 Patriots team. That was really a team that was led by its defense. Pro Football Hall of Famer Ty Law, the cornerback. You know, other guys, Mike Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi, Roman Pfeiffer, the linebacker. I mean, I could go on and on. Willie McGinnis. That was a team sort of that was led by the defense. The offense and special teams complemented what they were doing. And I think one of the things the Patriots really like about Mac is he's not trying to do too much. He's playing within the structure of the offense, and he's allowing the offense to complement a defense that they think is going to be pretty good and special teams units, which they feel like are going to be pretty good as well.
Mike, one of the things I'm going to be talking about on This Just In, Key, I don't know if you heard about it, great new show at 2 p.m. on ESPN, today is the Pats game with the Saints, because to me that's a big test game for Belichick in the post-Brady era, right? A 1-point loss to the Dolphins, followed by a win against a rookie quarterback. Now you got a team that hasn't had a home game, was dealing with COVID in the coaching staff. That's just the type of game that the Pats over the last 20 years make sure to win come hell or high water, right? But now they got the rookie quarterback themselves. Do they win? You know, like, that's a big game, isn't it?
Huge game, Max, and I agree with you. It is a great show at 2 o'clock on ESPN that you have there. Here's another thing I would add on to that, Max. Why is it even more so a big game? All the things you mentioned, and how about this? The week after, Tom Brady's coming to town with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think you want to be 1-2 as you enter that game. So I think that adds to your thought as to why this is a sneaky big game for the Patriots.
Right out of my notes on this just in the agenda today. Took it right off the notes. Excellent, Mike.
Mike, I'm curious, if you were redoing the draft, we have people saying that, you know, some people said they would take Mac Jones first in the draft. Where do you think, if we were redoing the draft today, understanding the way Mac Jones has played, where do you think he ends up? What spot?
You know what, Jay? I think it would still be the Patriots, and I actually think this is such a fascinating topic to me because it ties to Brady back in when he came out in 2000. I just think it's a perfect match between Mac and the Patriots' offensive system. I'm not sure if Mac goes to, let's say, the Jets at number 2, that we would see the same Mac that we've seen the last 2 weeks. The way the Patriots play on offense, where, you know, it's setting protection at the, you know, at the line of scrimmage, it's empty formations, it puts a lot on the quarterback from a processing and mental standpoint. I just think Mac is just so perfectly suited for this offense, and I'm not sure he would be a perfect fit for other offenses that don't do the same thing. So 15, where the Patriots were sitting, I truly believe this, Jay. If we were to do it again, I think he'd probably be the same spot, the same pick, if we had a redraft.
Mike, we've said at home, you've covered Tom Brady for however many, 20 years or whatever it was when he was in New England. But we sit at home, you, me, everybody else, and we see the same story, the same movie. Oh, well, damn. Okay, they just left him a minute left on the clock. Oh, here he's going to. Let me know when they kick the field goal or score the touchdown, because I'm going outside to have a cigarette right now. And when you look at him right now and at 44 years old, doing the sort of stuff that he's doing, could it be that he really is the favorite as the MVP right now?
Oh, Key, how could he not be? I mean, and I look at him and I watched, you know, the first 2 games, and I said to myself, if you told me he was 24 or even 34, I would say, yeah, that looks like he might even be better than he was at those ages. And I think that's what to me is so remarkable about him is he just keeps fighting back Father Time. I do think the rules help him a little bit in terms of how they protect the quarterbacks. But that being said, that's not to at all diminish, you know, I know how much work he puts in from having, you know, been around him for 2 decades here in New England. Key, to me, that's a top choice right now for MVP.
Let me ask you this, though, Mike, before I let you go. Did the New England Patriots, and did New England misjudge where Brady was at in his career at that moment that they made some decisions to part ways?
I think you could make the case they did, Key. At the same time, just being around here, I do believe there was a thought that it had just run its course, that it was more about 20 years together is a long time, and maybe a fresh start is good for both sides. And I think it was more that than misjudging where he was physically, mentally, or where the end of the road was for him. That's the sense I get when I talk to people around that situation. Just the idea that, hey, we've taken this as far as we can take it. It's time for a fresh start.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.